Brian Robertson.
Here.
Lindsay Washmuth.
Here.
Roger Faust.
Here.
Chad Blake.
Here.
Okay, we will do public comment and concerns, please. Limit your comments to 35 minutes. Anyone?
Okay, my name is Stephanie Evelo. I'm a resident here in Lapel, Indiana. Live in Brookside, and I just want to share an email that I did send to everybody at the front table for the council. I did try to send it to some others. I don't know the email addresses. I did try to send it to council, but it's nowhere on the website. So I did bring a copy to share. I'm shaking because I'm very passionate about this, and I feel like it is kind of the pink elephant in the room that has just not been shared and stated. And so I'm going to read my email so that everybody can see and know what the concern is. To the Town of Lapel Council, and please know and understand, I graduated from here back in the 80s. We lived out of town for 20 years and came back about 10 years ago. And 5 years ago, we had Culligan out to our own house because of the concern for the water at that time. So it's been at least 5 years. We've been back 10. It's been at least 5 years because we had Culligan out to our own house. To the Town of Lapel Council, and please forward this to the Town Legal Council. The water concern in the Town of Lapel is growing increasingly worse. The below is an example of a post today of someone's water right here in town, and there have been several others posting similar pictures and similar concerns with their water color, and there have been 2 other lengthy posts in the last 30 to 45 days of other days and incidents where there has been extreme discoloration in numerous households locally. If one of you came home today and this was the color of your water, you would be gravely concerned for your own health and safety as it relates to this water. And I would note, if anybody would like to take a look, actually I just went to go wash my hands, and the water even in the toilet in here is very colored. There we go. Very yellow and discolored even here at this location. So take note. Our town's water concern must be put at the very top of the list of priorities above any other thing that you could possibly consider putting on a priority list. Right now, nothing else should matter besides the health and safety of our local citizens in Lapel. Nothing. If the town council and town leaders are not protecting the safety and health of our community citizens, I'm concerned that there will be further action taken from those who are already offline, and talking about it offline. I don't think we need to have this as a community at all lawsuit. I don't think it's in our favor as a town to have something like this happen. And yet, most importantly, we must take care of our town citizens and their well-being. There has to be a cause and effect that continues to create this discoloration of the water sporadically, yet continually through the days and weeks and months of every year since I have been back here in 2016. I personally was concerned with the water 5 years ago, which time I called Culligan and had a reverse osmosis put into our home in 2020. This proves that the water concern has been going on at least for 5 years that I'm aware of, because that's why I turned to Culligan to protect our own family. And most recently, we put in an entire whole house filter put into our own home water system for the same concerns. The rest of the people in town cannot always afford to pay for Culligan monthly or the cost of a whole house filter, and they really shouldn't have to. If our water was in the condition that it should be to every household in Lapel, the cost that residents are paying for water to be provided to their kitchen sink should be providing a clean, safe water that should be drinkable and able to be used for washing dishes, ultimately washing themselves in the bath or shower. Currently, this is not happening for every household within our community, and this simply is not acceptable. To say that it is due to the flushing of the fire hydrants is no longer acceptable. The town was awarded a huge grant of money to fix this water concern and to be the solution. Obviously, something went sideways, and this is not the result that the leadership or townspeople expected or deserved. But this is not the fault of the residents. This falls back on the leadership. No one else in town was responsible for receiving of the grant or the disbursement of the money or the managing of the contract, or what took place or did not, besides the leaders of Lapel. The community counted on each one of you up at the front. The community counted on you. I believe there are some things that may have been out of the leadership's control, yet it still falls back to responsibility of you as leaders and those running the town of Lapel for the community people. The burden for the discoloration and concern for the Lapel water falls upon you as leaders. What I want to know, as do many others in this town want to know right now, is what are you as a leader of this town doing to get to the bottom of why the water is like this and what is being done to fix it? Simply giving no answers and no resolution and communicating nothing is not acceptable. It's not acceptable behavior as a leader, and it's not acceptable to the people. The local community deserves communication from the front of the room. Anything less is not acceptable in any organization or any company, so why would it be okay here in Lapel, Indiana? And if there are things that are being done in the background, then these things must be shared with the public at the public meetings and through whatever means of communication that you get information out to everyone in the household, into the community. The town of Lapel is counting on you to lead the town to an answer on why the water is like this, and to lead the town to a solution so that people can trust that they are consuming healthy water that will not affect them short-term or long-term health-wise. I know that this is not a new concern or a new matter, yet I do believe that the leadership, you should take immediate action and communicate immediately to the public what the concern is, because otherwise I'm afraid it's snowballing into something that you won't be able to reverse. I've tried to bridge the gap between the front table leaders and the public. The voice concerns are almost weekly, if not more, about the water in Lapel online. If you are leaders and supposed to be representing the town of Lapel and its people, I highly recommend getting involved with the online chatter and communication that is happening. Possibly know what the concerns are in your community, and if you're not listening to what is being said, then how are you leading? How can you truly represent the town of Lapel's people if you do not know or see or hear what their concerns are? And when others have brought concerns to the meetings, they have been shut down in communication and do not feel that they have a voice. Thus why others have not shown up to the meetings. I share this email tonight with each of you simply because of my concern for this community and my love for it. And in the wake of the tragedy this past week with Charlie Kirk, it is no longer okay for me to sit by and be quiet and not speak up and speak the truth. The truth doesn't always feel good, and the truth doesn't always feel good or shared and said, but yet it must be said. You all were voted into a fold of responsibility, and I, along with the community, expect you to lead and lead by example, keeping the best interests of the citizens at heart. The continued concern with the water conditions in Lapel is no longer acceptable for any leader to sit at the front table or side table and not step up and step forward to take an important to find a solution or to first find the cause. The townspeople are counting on you, and God is counting on you to step forward and take action. I do not believe I will make it to this meeting, so I was going to have somebody read it. I do pray that you as leaders will be compelled to take action and to get to the bottom of what it takes to get a resolution. And if it's now above your knowledge base or skill set collectively as a leadership, at this current point in time, then we must go outside of ourselves and our local leadership to find the answer. It's above my skill set and knowledge, thus why I'm seeking answers with other professionals outside of our community. Doing nothing because we don't know is not an option. It's no longer acceptable to let days and weeks and months pass by while community residents experience these water conditions you see in the picture below week after week. Thank you so much, all, for Lapel's health and safety, and as I'm called to be the hands and feet, Sally Yellow. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'd just like to know what you're doing to do it. To say that it's the fire hydrants, it's been 3 times in the last 30 days, and it continues to look like this. So there has to be a cause that's causing it. I don't know what the cause is, but it's not just the pipes. Because if it was the pipes, it would be every day like that, and it's not. So there is something that's causing it sporadically. And I don't know what it is, but we need to get to the bottom of it.
Go ahead.
Mike Elderbrand, 30 West 7th Street, Lapel, Indiana. I think this is what Stephanie's talking about. This came out of my faucet. Don't look too good to me, and we're having to pay for it. And it's not healthy. And then across the street, we still have problems. There's still chemicals over there. They did pull some weeds, done a little mowing, moved some there's still a lot of chemicals over there. I have no idea what they are. I supposedly talked to the owner of the place. He come over and said that it took him 7 months to get the guy out. And he's hoping he don't come back. And I think the town needs to do something about the chemicals that's out.
Mr. Hildebrand, have you notified town hall of that?
The what, this?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Well, town hall needs to be notified so we can come and check. The email Mrs. Evelo was talking about, they went and checked this morning at the
Okay.
water meter.
Well, this was Tuesday morning, or Tuesday evening, just for a parade.
Thank you.
If I could, real quick, wow, that's loud. That is something. Just a reminder to everybody in the public, yes, we understand the concern, but as Mr. Evelyn just stated, that water sample was from Tuesday. The issue that we were having could be long gone, and we wouldn't be able to pinpoint it. If you have an issue, you have to call town hall and report the issue so we can come out and check it right away. Teresa, do we know how many complaints on water we're actually receiving and testing on a weekly average right now?
I think it had probably been, 2 or 3 weeks before we even had any brown water until Tuesday night and yesterday. And then today, I think, was there one complaint today? Well, there was no complaints today. 4 today, 4 yesterday, and none today. So.
But if we have almost 900 water customers, we need to know when and where it's happening. If there is an issue that's isolated to a street, talking about it on Facebook does no good to help us pinpoint the problem. We hire outside engineers to assist us with the water. We have an outside service that comes in and works with our water folks to make sure things are done correctly and that we're following all procedures. All of our testing follows the state standards. Everything, all of our water samples have to get sent to the state. We're on schedule for our water tower to be taken down, cleaned, and serviced. It's not that we're not doing anything, but finding the problem, if it is a pinpoint local problem, is something that we need that information as soon as you can. So if you had problem Tuesday with your water, we need to know first thing Wednesday so they can come out and check the water at your house. Just help us. Help us try to help you.
And we have every complaint that's come in, the utility guys have went out and checked every single one of them. So, I mean, it's not that we're not gonna do anything. If you come in, you can even call. You don't have to come in. Just call and say, I have brown water, or I had brown water this morning, or when I got up at 3 o'clock this morning, I had brown water. We'll send the guys out there to come check your water. We've done it to everyone who has come in. So I just wanna reiterate that.
Can I speak to that process? That's actually my step. Go ahead. So right after the last meeting, because I think this is where some of the frustration comes in, and I think this is why the rhetoric continues to get more and more irritated when people are kind of wanting to talk.
Yes.
After the last meeting,
Turn your mic on.
oh, yes.
Press hold.
Until the green light comes on.
There you go.
After the last meeting, I had, initiated myself, the meeting was Thursday, that Sunday, I went to refill my hot tub. Now, I'm just gonna say, I have a joint disorder, so I rely on nightly baths, and in the summer, in the fall, spring, I use the hot tub to conserve water. So I'm sitting in this stuff, so yeah, I'm concerned about it. So I change the water frequently in the hot tub, just, I have a thing about it, so I change it. I go to fill the thing up, I've got 2 brand new RV filters, okay? I hook one of them up, I let it run, that water is brown through the RV filter coming out of my hose. So I'm like, okay, and I had noticed I have a filter in the house and a water softener, and it's still brown in the house, but not enough to irritate me, just enough to be like, maybe I should check, put more salt in there or something like that. It was terrible. So I was pissed. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was. Because for one, you just burnt my RV filter, and then for 2, now I've gotta clean this thing, drain it, clean it again, fill it back up, knows, and he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna test that, it's gonna test high. He's like, that's not gonna, it was brown as brown things. And he says, we're having a problem with the well out on 13, dumping a bunch of iron into the water. We don't know why that's happening, and, and I said, do you think it has anything to do with capacity? We had a brief conversation about capacity and the concerns around capacity. And so I'll tell you that it wasn't an especially fruitful process, and I don't think that it has been for anybody who's followed it, and that's why they're frustrated, because you come out and you pull their water at the meter, and you tell them it's all fine, it's in their house, it's in their pipes, it's in the system, it's the hydrants, but it continues to happen, and they don't feel like they're being heard, or anyone's really putting any effort out. And I know that's not true, and I'll tell you why, because I read the agenda today, and I see that on the agenda you have 3 quotes, one for a new well, which is god awful expensive, and to replace the pumps in the other 2. So I'm just gonna make this comment, and I'm hoping that it will be discussed when those quotes are discussed. Brandon made a comment when we were talking, God help us if that 4th Street well goes down, because the one on 13 won't keep up,
Vice versa.
or vice versa.
Vice versa, but yes.
But when I'm reading these quotes, in order to replace these well pumps, you're gonna have to take one of these wells, both of these wells down for 3 days. I'm assuming not at the same time, in common sense. But I'm wondering, and I'm hoping that you'll discuss what measures you're gonna take for capacity, especially given the problems that were discussed the last time with the capacity from Brockway, what they've been drawing and not being able to really have good communication with them. So, because that even concerns me further, what is gonna happen if that's the route that we take to try to fix it. So, I appreciate that you're at least looking into that, but I just wanted to speak to that process because we come to these meetings, I've heard it said 2 or 3 times, call us, we'll come out and test it, we'll figure it out. But the truth is that when we do that, there's not really an answer. And maybe it's time to say we don't have one and ask somebody else.
Alicia West. In regards to this process, as far as the water goes, what is the process? Because I've often found whenever I get on Facebook and find these comments about the water being discolored, what is the process, or can we come up with a process for after hours? Because oftentimes when the parents get home and they're trying to bathe their kids, it's after office hours. So, go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt.
No.
There is a after-hours number on the bill, correct?
Yeah, there is.
The problem with the after hours is unless OP and I are on call, which is only maybe once every 2 or 3 months, the other guys, they're not that they couldn't go out and do the testing,
Right.
but I don't trust them to go out and test your water. Does
Fair
that make
enough,
sense?
fair enough.
Like they could come back and say, yeah, this is what I tested, but
Right.
did they do it the right way?
Right.
And I don't really feel that. And I don't want to be on call all the time, so I don't want to tell OP
Right.
she needs to be on call all the time. So that's where we get into the conflict after hours.
So,
And I get,
yeah.
because it is, you're
Right.
correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's spot
that-
on. I mean,
that-
all these parents come home, they're trying to give their kids baths in water that looks like Stony Creek. And people go to start doing their dishes or wash fruit, and it's after office hours. And while, yes, it's not fair for Brandon and Opie to be on call 24/7, we have to come up with a better solution for after hours. Just to, I feel like you guys are trying to solve the problem? Absolutely, I do. I see it, like Christy stated. I do see, you guys are getting quotes, you guys are working, you're trying to come up with a solution. But what can we do after hours for a process? Can we send out a letter saying, if you have bad water, these are the steps you take, A, B, C, and D. And if you don't take these, we can't help you. I don't know how many times I've got on Facebook this week and said, be at the town council meeting this Thursday at 7, like, be there, or don't get on Facebook and complain. It's the same thing over and over. If people are not here, the problem is not going to change because the town council does not know this. And while someone suggested that they need to get on Facebook and monitor the posts, no they don't. The residents need to come to the meeting. It's not their job to sit on Facebook and monitor Facebook posts. It's the residents' job to come to the meeting, call the town hall, and get involved. But in the meantime, whenever our residents are doing this, then what can we do for after hours? Because after hours seems to be when the posts are popping up, people are complaining, so forth and so on. And to add to the comment last month, send out a letter of some sort or something to just keep the public in communication, because I feel like with the people that have come to me and complained to me personally, they don't understand where you're going, and they don't understand, while yes, I know we have elected you folks to run the board and to run the town, and it's your due diligence to spend everything how you see fit and what you feel like is best for the town. But in the same instance, I don't go here person. I've only been here for 12 years, but I wasn't born and raised here. And I am trying to educate myself and learn, the ins and outs of this stuff. And for you to communicate, hey, this is what we're doing with the town, this is what our goals are, do we have a timeline? No, we don't, but what can we do to keep our people apprised as to the improvements we are trying to make, and keeping our town residents informed. That way, maybe so many of our residents that do feel like they're left in the dark won't feel that way. Just thoughts.
Thank you.
Hello.
It's on.
Hello. My name's Kelly Walker. I'm the one that made a post last night. Here's the water from 8:30 to 9 o'clock last night. And yes, my sons had to have a dirty bath. And I had to lie to them, tell them, hey, it's just the body wash that mommy did to give you a bath. And after talking to Brandon, because we're on the fire department together, he knew where I lived. This morning he came out, flushed the service line, came out clear water, but this has been an ongoing process, like several residents have mentioned. I agree with some of them about, hey, maybe you guys should start making a flyer or a mailer out to residents that doesn't have internet capabilities or isn't on Facebook, because I'm surrounded by elderly that are not on Facebook. So all my neighbors had rusty water last night throughout the day. So I believe there is something that needs to be done with this. Maybe the infrastructure that needs to be looked at also, with all these new homes and so-called businesses coming in that had expanded or lost the capability of the pumps. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Trying to maximize the capabilities of the pumps to service all the residents. But when it comes down to our children taking baths in it and affecting their laundry, because now I've run a load of their laundry and they have to go to school with said room clothes, then there's an issue. How is the school monitoring their water issue when the kids are in school? What's going to be the process when January 1 comes around and we have a new fire department, new personnel, and they're going to train at least once a week on these pumps or these hydrants? Are we going to have rusty water every day? Because I know for a fact that department trains more than we do as a volunteer. So issues are gonna get a lot worse if these are not addressed and something be happening. But I just feel like something needs to be addressed. Maybe the infrastructure needs to be looked at or something else. And communicating with the residents would be, and also, like the one said, having a step, send out a mailer about what steps we can do. Cause I'll come tomorrow and go to the town hall and make a complaint about this. That's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we're gonna go to presentations. KMR, redesign of town hall.
Thanks for having me here. I'm Matt Yates with KRM Architecture. We're an architecture firm out of Anderson, Indiana. We were contracted about 2 months ago to kind of look at the bank building. The history behind that for the public here is the state bank bought the old town hall and gifted the new location to the town of Lapel, and we were asked to kind of look at it. How do we make it more ADA, more safe, more secure, and a couple other small items. So tonight we're going to present kind of this plan. If you turn to page 6 on the document you have in front of you, that kind of lays out the updated plan. We met a couple times with a building committee. The building committee consisted of several members of the public, a couple of town council members, and a couple of the staff. And kind of went through some of the needs. The existing building currently has no restroom on the first floor, and they have no elevator. So one of the biggest issues is providing accessible restrooms for the staff and for the public. The second biggest issue that we're trying to solve is to give them a permanent kind of meeting space that they can set up, so they don't have to lease out this space. And the building they're in has enough capacity to allow that to happen. And then the third thing is just the safety and security of the staff. A lot of the offices that with its current setup allows for no security, easy access to them. So if there's an angry resident or angry constituent, there's no kind of buffer to that level. So what we did was we went in and we scanned the building. We looked at all the bones. It's in excellent condition. It's a perfect building to last another 20, 30 years. The AC and all the mechanical equipment is in good shape. So really what we're looking at is trying to fix those 3 problems and more of an aesthetic fix on the inside. The plan you see over here in front of us, in the orange is kind of the new public meeting space. It'll hold around 40 to 50 people. And it has kind of a small conference area in the blue next to it, a public restroom, and then 2 ways out for safety and safety kind of purposes. This space will allow them to set up permanent equipment to do recordings, to do projection, and also have a place for the public to use when they're not as a secondary place to rent and to use. In the green there is the main entrance. You can see it's separated from the orange, so there's a private public meeting space and then an entrance into kind of what we call the office place where you guys go and pay your bills, or to talk to one of the town planners or code consultants. So basically what our goal is to, on the existing plan, the left half, and the purple and the blue is kind of all existing walls. So again, trying to keep that budget low, trying to keep it costs down. And then we needed to add 1 office, that's in the black, kind of over here, in this area right here, because we needed a clerk treasurer office. That's one of the new walls on kind of the west side. The drive-through window we preserved. There'll be some minor renovations to that, basically a car indicator, so when you pull up, it'll ding, they'll know to go to the window. And then if you ever went to the front desk in the new space, it's really tall, it's not ADA, so the new desk will be kind of right here. There'll be an ADA spot, a lower spot, and then the higher spot. There'll be a door that separates from the business area. And then a staff restroom back here, and then a public restroom up here. And then, if you remember right, when you walk in there, there's this open stair that's kind of a safety and security reason. Anybody could kind of run down these steps and get down into the basement. Now that this wall is here, where this desk is, it protects them from having to monitor that as much. So that's the basics of the plan. I'll kind of stop there and see if you guys have any questions on the plan, and then we can kind of go into schedule and kind of some other items.
Any questions?
Great. From a schedule standpoint, that's the page before, page five. If you were to approve the plan in the next week or so, we could move forward and be ready for construction documents, basically to go out to bid to contractors on November 25th. That would be 2 days before Thanksgiving. They would go out, and then that would give us 4 weeks, 5 weeks to get it bid right before Christmas on December 18th. So we would get public bids from contractors to do the work, and then they could start work basically on January 8th. Approximate construction time would be 4 to 5 months. Those are just timelines, so just think for our standpoint, when you're ready to go, we need about 2 to 3 months to get the work done, to do the construction drawings. In terms of cost, we looked at it, there's a big safe that needs to be removed, and we've kind of been looking at the cost for that. That is kind of the big cost, but the cost is around $100 per square foot, which is about where the industry standard is right now. So the estimated renovation cost is right around $435,000. Just to put it in perspective, if you were to build this building today, it'd be about $2 to $2.5 million for this amount of square footage that you have. And that doesn't include your land acquisition costs and your site development costs. So I think you're doing the right thing by renovating this space and using an existing structure. I don't know if there's any questions on schedule or cost, but again, in front of you is kind of the information for you guys to debate and weigh in on. And I will stop there. I'll try to make it short and sweet.
Does anybody on the council have any questions?
How is this gonna interrupt like the daily operation of the office during renovation?
Sure. So that's kind of the strategy behind what we did, was leaving that west side allows them to kind of move into that west side and close off and sanction off that right side and fully function while they're building that, and then finish up. So we would build this desk area probably first, and while keeping this strategically open, and then come in, close this off, build this off, and everyone's still functioning over here while we're addressing that. We also debated, I think there's a scenario where you could go ahead and remove the safe, and without, whenever you want as a separate contract, and get that completed and done without probably much disruption either because of where it's located and with the way the offices sit.
I think I like that option of doing the safe separate, getting the vault out of there separately.
First.
Yeah, doing that.
Does anyone from the public have any questions?
Oh, I have questions.
Go ahead.
You said the building had good bones. What needs to be done immediately to make it safe and functional if we chose not to go forward with the renovation?
I think the tricky part is it's the restrooms. There's no ADA restrooms, so there's a liability there. And so rectifying that would need to be first priority. So there would have to be some form of acknowledgement of how to do that. And I think that there's probably a strategy to where you could do an accessible restroom without doing the rest of this.
Okay. The reason that I'm asking this is, given the reorganization that you're getting ready to try to do, does it make sense to do a $500,000 renovation right now when through that, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that through that organization it would be determined if this would even be the location that would be the primary town hall or point of business? I mean, does it make sense to spend that kind of money right now?
Well, first and foremost, we have to get Stony Creek Township to agree to even start the process.
Right, so my question more or less is, could this be postponed a year to a year and a half and just do what's required to meet the ADA standard?
That's a good question.
One, just a quick clarification on that for the modernization of local government is the technical term for that process. The town of Lapel still exists and would be the seat of the expanded town of Lapel.
Okay.
So it would still be town hall. It's the plan here that, first of all, there's been months worth of effort put in by the steering committee, which is made up of several folks from the town, the council, and town employees. So there's a lot of effort that got into the plan that's in front of everybody there. Talk myself right out of my own thought. So a lot of effort went in to get to this point, but as Matt stated, this is a plan for the next 30 years of Lapel. It allows the space that we need for the staff that we need, some of it's staff that we don't have yet, but it allows for us to operate the business of a growing town for the future, to get the things in place that we don't have. So while yes, the cost is high, it is much cheaper than building a new building, but the key thing is to remember we're already $400,000 ahead because we didn't have to buy the building. We've been given a great gift in this, and I think it would be wrong of us to not do it right for the future of the town. Part of the many problems that we focus on and have to deal with on a daily basis is we did things wrong in the past, and we have an opportunity to do something right and be right going forward.
And to be clear, I'm not implying that we shouldn't do it right. I'm just
right,
implying maybe we shouldn't do it now. Because you're talking about potentially expanding the size of the government in possibility double, in which case the renovations that you're getting ready to make may not be enough. And while I appreciate the effort that's put into it, and I don't discredit that in the least bit, I just question whether or not now is the right time. And I would just ask you to consider that when you're making the decision. That's it.
Yes. I'm sorry.
What's
It's
the
Brian's
total-
job.
What's the total amount budgeted for this? What's the price tag look like?
Right now, we're at around 430,000. We've been challenged to bring it lower, and we've got strategies to lower it. It takes there's opportunities to do sweat equity, which means we come in and we paint our own, we get this, the town of Lapel comes and paints their own paint to save money. There's other ways to save dollars throughout, and that's kind of like how our design works is we do a schematic design, and we put all the things that we need to make it work. And then this next phase is we'll try to hone that budget down, and we're working to get it down. Chad wants us to be right.
250.
250. So our next step would be we're going to send this to local contractors and be like, price this for us. We're architects. We have our pulse on a lot of communities, and it all comes down to timing too. This is a perfect winter project. If there's contractors who are hungry and been in November, you get good pricing. So there's a game to it a little bit too, but our goal is to keep exploring and trying to bring that price down, because we're not happy that it's that high. It's just the nature of the way things have been the last 5 years, 4 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess my just question is, yes, what is the total cost? And then where are we coming up with that money because we're such a small town with small budget and have such a big water issue? I don't see spending the money on that at this moment in time when there's more critical things. It's like Maslow's hierarchy, right? You gotta take care of your food, water, and shelter first.
Costs more than
So,
a well.
you know.
This is tax dollars. Our water is ratepayer funded. Our tax dollars do not go into the utilities whatsoever. Everything that the utilities happens in the utility department is from ratepayers. Our tax dollars do not go into it.
So this would be from taxes. Okay.
So no debt?
Excuse me?
This would be no debt, this would be.
We're figuring that out.
Okay.
Yeah, so these costs that you've put on this so far, or what your estimates are, that's only for the remodeling portion. It does not include any furniture, any other infrastructure type things that might need to be done to the building?
It has some technology for the conference center. A lot of the furniture is existing and they're good to reuse it. So there's not a lot of furniture cost in there, and we don't expect to have a lot. We would throw that into that number if we had it. We do not have it. That number I gave you was lawyer fees, architect fees, contractor fees, all in. Not, I shouldn't say just construction. It's what our goal is for the overall cost of the project, and we're constantly trying to get that down. And a little bit of it is you got to get a good number from the contractor. So, yeah, does that help?
Yep.
Okay.
And one other question, the steering committee that was put together for this, I went back and went through the minutes. I know it was said we could create it, or I think Brian was to say who was going to be on it. I never saw any place where it said who was on that steering committee. So is that something that can be given to us?
I can read the names if you.
Sure.
Is that okay? I mean,
Yeah, go right ahead.
okay. So we just created this document. We gave it to the board. We had a PowerPoint. I didn't realize that there wasn't a projector, so I apologize for that. Teresa Rutherford, clerk treasurer. Chad Blake, Lindsay Washman, all right, John Buffington, Diane Pressler, Alicia West, and then myself, and then another architect that I work with named Kyle Schwinn. So we're kind of the core group, and we met 3 times basically, 2 times as that group, and then 1 time prior to when we walked through the building and kind of did the assessment.
Thank you.
I have one more question. Do we actually 100% bottom line own this building now? Like nothing can undo this deal, it's over, we own it?
We own the building.
Okay.
No take-backsies.
Okay, that's, well, I had heard some, like if we didn't approve
Finders
the
keepers.
ATM, if we didn't approve parking, if we, so I was kinda wondering if, like, there was anything else that we need to be aware of.
I also have a
No,
question.
Evan did a good job.
So,
Good job.
is this like for sure the permanent building that you guys are gonna have the town hall in? That you guys
As far as I'm concerned, it is.
Okay.
In our lifetime.
Okay, I just asked because in my lifetime, you guys have moved twice and now 3rd time, so.
I mean, I think the site, like you said, is what, 20 to 30 years, if we would have to at that point. And they should last us that long.
Okay.
Maybe longer, but,
You would hope longer, but.
but depending on.
And that's just with the space upstairs. There's still an entire basement that hasn't been touched.
So why is the wall have to come out?
It's it's one of those 1980s vaults that you'd see on like the Dukes of Hazzard. Boss Hogg gets locked in the vault, and he's like, I'm running out of air. It's that vault.
Yeah. Basically 12 inches of concrete surrounded ceiling, floor, wall. We just need to take out 2 of the walls to get it open to allow them. When you put somebody in a vault with that thick concrete, you can't get you can't get internet, wireless internet. So for the long term, it's better to just get that thing out and open the building up. Even if you decide 20 years from now, 30 years to resell it, it helps to resell a little bit of it having this open floor plan.
Is there a way to why not just keep the vault and use it as a storage?
We looked at that. It was tricky because the vault lies kind of right here,
Right in the middle of it.
right in the middle. And so it was either tear out all of this and build offices over here, or tear out that vault and put this here. So we kind of analyzed, we looked at two different plans throughout that. And in the end, we looked at the budget, and it really came down to, if we get a good price for that removing that safe, it's cheaper to do it this way.
Is it upstairs or downstairs?
We need to get that number to
Upstairs.
confirm that before we move too far forward. So that's kind of our next step.
I mean, I can't imagine what it would cost for someone to put that in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying what it cost initially to ever put in, so I hate for us to waste it because
Yeah.
So it's only ever able to be used for a bank, really, right? That
Correct.
vault?
Yeah.
And legally, that can no longer be used as a bank.
Right.
There are covenants now against it. That was part of the deal. So it's useless.
right.
I mean, if it comes back at 100,000 to take it out, we're probably. But
Yeah.
like if we can look
If you have to keep records or paper records and things like that, it goes in there and.
There's an entire
The whole
storage area in
basement.
the basement, yeah.
Can you not take the door off and make it a hell of a tornado shelter?
That's what I'm saying, I'm saying it's.
We have a full-size basement. We have one room that goes under where the offices would be left on the left-hand side. It has nothing in it, absolutely nothing in it. We have another whole room with all these shelves they left. There's 2 rows of shelves down there, 3 rows, 2 and a half on each, and it's on each side, and we've only used one side of one. I mean, we went from storing everything in a vault before to we now have room to store all the stuff that the State Board of Accounts loves for you to keep for 99 years. So, because they do.
If it would be helpful, we could, if there's a way, we have a link that you can walk through the whole building, so you can kind of see for yourself.
It's really cool.
I don't mind sharing that link if there's a way to do it.
If you'll send me, do I have that link in an email?
I'll
Resend it
resend
to
it.
me,
Yeah.
and then I'll post it to our website. I'll have Daniel post it to our website.
Curious, I
We
don't,
just removed the vault, got a price to remove the vault at the state bank, and it was bigger. So we kind of, it was right around, I think it was around 45,000 to take it out. So we're guessing right around 35,000 to take this thing out. But we want to get those guys who are removing that one over there to give us a price to remove that one. So,
logistically, just because I'm curious, because it sounds like the basement's not gonna have much use, I'm assuming because of the stairs, but, is that something that you foresee that we could use as a community tornado shelter when we have situations like April, we had in April where that particular location sits smack dab up against a development where people don't have basements?
There's all kinds of uses for that space. It's wide open space right now, so I suggested a roller derby team. Nobody's liked it.
I like that. I like that.
Let's hope we do it.
I like that. That'd be fun. I'm with you. I second that. Since we can get pickleball.
Any questions? Thank you for the presentation.
thank you guys.
Do we need All right, moving on to new business, the Inglewood PUD.
Good evening, I'm Tony Bagato with Arbor Homes. Our address is 9225 Harrison Park Court in Indianapolis. Quickly, I can pass out a presentation I have so that you can review. Unfortunately, I left my doors at our office and didn't realize by the time I got here, I didn't have time to go back. I could have passed on the crowd. So, good evening, again, Tony Bugado with Arbor Homes, thank you for your time. And first, I want to just thank staff. Marcel has been great to work with, and this has been several months in the process and in the time being, so I know we put a lot of time in with them. And again, with Arbor Homes, we're a local builder that's been in the Indianapolis market for a little over 30 years. We are a production builder, but we offer customization, and on that second page of the intro slide, you'll see just quickly covered some of the local reviews we've had from customers who really appreciate our homes and have been happy. So with Arbor, you get to come in and pick your own, lot as well as your own floor plan and other options that other builders don't tend to offer when they're considered more like a spec builder. These ones are homeowners come in, work with our sales team, and get to design portions of the home on their own. The property is approximately 25 plus acres, and it's on the south side of State Road 32, just west of South 900 West, across the street from Lapel High School. It's currently vacant and zoned agriculture and designated as commercial in the comprehensive plan. To the south, there's a park area as well as some other single-family commercial surrounding the site. It's currently been vacant. It was previously had some zoning for a PUD that had residential and commercial on it that never moved forward, and that zoning is no longer in place, I believe. So there was an attempt to do single family there once, and they were like 15-foot wide homes with one-car garages, so more dense in that portion of the property, but it had commercial as well. This proposal is to do a plan unit development with R2 being the base zoning, just to have an underlying zoning district that our plan falls to. With this site, we're proposing it would have 72 homes, with the lots being 56 foot wide. On the concept plan page, you'll see some red arrows that are pointing to the main access to the site. So you have access coming in off of State Road 32, as well as County Road 900. Those would be stop controlled access points. The current open space, it's a very tight site, so it's really provided just like a loop kind of main roadway. So our open space just comes in about 12% with 3.1 acres. We've provided walking paths, sidewalks, and providing a playground amenity area that you would see as you come in from the entrance on State Road 32. So that not yellow colored lot, it's like a slight grayish green, I guess. That's like the amenity area with a gazebo where that would be overlooking the pond and a focal feature when you drive into the community. On the next concept plan page, I highlighted there the different connectivities shown. So there would be a 10-foot wide asphalt path that's shown in red that runs across the perimeter of the site. We did end up carrying it through at the northeast corner into our community because that corner on State Road 32 is commercial today. So without that being developed, there would be no pedestrian connection there. So we brought the trail into our site that if people were walking on State Road 32 in front of the development, if it's approved, they'd be able to continue without having to walk on the street. But you have to come in through behind the commercial development, and then that red trail, the 10-foot wide path, would continue south on County Road 900. The blue lines shown are the internal sidewalks. Those would be 5-foot wide. And then to the south, we've provided 2 connective trails that are 8-foot wide, most likely asphalt to the park, so that our residents have access to the park as well as our own amenity area that's shown. On the next page, you'll see some examples of the homes that we would be building. This is our traditional Arbor product. So we have 4 different lines of homes, and Arbor is the one that's been the main focal point and that we're currently building within, or have built within Lapel. Initially, we had proposed a smaller floor plan that had a lot more density, and working with the Plan Commission the first time around and the planner, that we heard some concerns about that, and we went to larger lots and brought in these plans. So with Arbor, there's a traditional single family. There's 12 floor plans that have 5 elevations each, so you have well over close to about 60 different elevations, as well as different color packages, different brick options. So there's, well, for an anti-monotony standpoint with 72 homes, we can definitely design and have a community where a lot of them don't look very similar. We offer ranch as well as 2-story homes being the max height. Those square footages would range from 1,200 to 3,200 square feet. If possible, there's an option for a third-car garage if there's room on the lot, and then there'd be options for sunroom as well as basements if the soil would allow for that. Next page shows some other example renderings of what would potentially be built based on the options that are picked by our home buyers. The next page just highlight our design center again, because there's customization options. When a home buyer comes in and picks their lot and their floor plan, they come in and work with our design team. They get to pick out their flooring, their cabinetry, their countertops, their fixtures, as well as their exterior colors. And that's within, you know, the anti-monotony standards, so they can't again have the same floor plan or same elevation and color as the next door neighbors. So that's something that the town would review when it's submitted. But within the guidelines of the anti-monotony, they'd be able to pick their color plan, as well as those features I talked about. The next page highlights the traffic study. There was a required traffic study as part of this submittal. It was reviewed both by NDOT and the town. From the result, it showed those areas on the map that I'm highlighting were intersections that were studied, and it showed that there was no necessary improvements needed from the increase in traffic. So, I mean, the traffic study shows there will be an increase over the development, but it did not result in the need for new improvements because of that. There was also a request by NDOT for us to do a traffic signal warrant analysis at the intersection where the high school is, to see if a signal would be needed, and that also showed no need for a signal there. So the only improvements that our traffic study shows is that we would have improvements into our community to alleviate any traffic from cars entering and exiting the community. So you'd have XL and decel lanes, as well as stop control at those 2 points that I highlighted earlier. Again, no traffic signal was needed from the study. So in conclusion is my next page. There was some discussion of the Plan Commission as well with staff in the staff report about the comprehensive plan. It does currently show commercial being the use that's proposed in the long-term plan. But under state law, the town council only has to give due regard to the comp plan. It doesn't have to follow it exactly. Plans change, and so you don't have to go by that if you choose not to. But there's some other discussion about small town growth, and we felt, as well as the planner, that this was consistent with those portions of the comp plan, and that maybe commercial may not be the best fit given the close proximity to the school, as well as some of the other services. Because with the concerns of being traffic that we've heard from residential, commercial would bring even more traffic. So from our standpoint, from at least a traffic standpoint, we feel that this is more favorable than that. And again, being close to school, this is a place where families could even walk to and have close access to schools, which tends to be a good land use decision from my experience. We do have staff recommendation and support. Last month we did present to the Plan Commission, went through the public hearing. There was quite a bit of questions that I answered. And then there was a motion for an unfavorable recommendation that passed on a 4-1 vote. So we are asking for council to support this recommendation, though, as well as staff in their staff report, and available for any questions.
When was the traffic study conducted?
It was back this summer, so it was like June, I believe. I have the date here.
So
School is not.
you clearly need to go out and watch traffic over there on that road any morning or afternoon.
Yes, thank you.
Actually, 2 years ago, when the property owner first approached on this, they were told in no uncertain terms that any traffic outlet onto Cascade Boulevard would not be favorable due to the high flow of traffic with the school. Over 38% of the kids that attend our school are brought in by parents from outside the district. So traffic on that road is absolutely atrocious every morning and every afternoon. So the original suggestion that was made was putting a roundabout at the corner of Vine and 200, and that no traffic would dump out onto 925. Was that ever communicated to you all?
I just want to make a quick correction there. The traffic study was conducted during a typical school day in May 2025.
Okay.
So it was during the school day.
Yeah, and I'm not a traffic engineer, so I have to trust what was done here.
Not me either.
Yeah. So, but from the report, the school hours do not they are opposite of what you have from families coming and going in and out of the development, where usually between 6, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. So school hours get out earlier, so there was less traffic at that school time that we would bring. And again, with the traffic study, it shows there is an increase. It's just a matter of the road currently shows that it has capacity to handle the additional traffic beyond needing new improvements. So I don't wanna say there's not new traffic, because there is new traffic, but from the study, it shows that the current capacity of the road should be able to handle it, and it's not in the same conflicting time as the school. Our peak hours are different than the school's peak hours, basically in a nutshell. I was trying to say that a little easier.
My concerns here are the standards in this PUD. Marcellus, can you go over what they're asking for that falls below our normal standards?
Certainly. You have a copy of the staff report in front of you. You can find this information on pages 9 through 19.
And just from memory, lot size,
Lot size.
reduction in lot size, architectural standards,
Yes.
did they meet the green space?
So with lot size, we're seeing a smaller lot area and a narrower minimum lot width. However, those reductions are not too large. Particularly with lot width, you probably wouldn't notice the difference. With the interior planting requirements, there are not required as many trees, not required as many as many shrubs are as required on each lot. We also have reductions, a change in buffer requirements, basically reducing buffers to a maximum of 10 feet. There would be, normally the code does not include buffers and retention ponds in the open space requirements. This PUD ordinance is asking to allow buffers and retention ponds to be included in the open space requirements, which is how they're kind of exceeding the amount of space that the code would normally require. I did a look at the architectural standards, and the current code requires more masonry coverage on the outside of buildings, particularly when that side faces the street, than what they are showing in their exhibits. The current code for the R2 district also requires that residential plans meet a minimum score of 15 according to an architectural standards table located in the code, whereas looking at the illustrative exhibit, scores are range between 6 and 13, and the average score is about 9. So none of the homes in the exhibit meet that 15-point requirement. And then there's also a conservation standards requirement to meet a minimum score of 10 from another table in the code. And that's not something that would show up in the in an illustrative exhibit. That's something that would happen when you're choosing like your windows and your HVAC and your like washing machine and your fixtures and stuff like that. Sets the stage that like you know, at this stage we don't have information about whether or not they deal with those requirements. And then yes, that's the last place where their requirements they're asking are less than the current requirements. And I can talk more in detail about what the impacts or concerns are with any of those reductions if anyone has questions about those.
on the board have any questions or either?
If everybody didn't see the numbers, the ordinance requirement is a 7,250 square foot lot. They're requesting 6,000. Minimum lot width is 60 feet. They're requesting 56. That's probably the two biggest numbers there that are concerning. Everything else is aesthetic, like basically like Marcel said.
No one on the board has any more questions. I will entertain a motion to approve the Inglewood PUD. Well, the public hearing was it?
Yeah.
Planning.
Public hearing started.
No one's making a motion. So yeah, I just, guys.
They're entitled to a motion, whether it's positive or negative, whether it fails or not.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the Inglewood PUD.
No, you can make a motion to deny if you wish to make a motion to deny.
I'll make a motion to deny the changing of zone from general commercial to residential plan unit development for the 25 acres.
I'll second.
Brian,
Yes.
Lindsay,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes.
Chad.
My answer would be different if traffic did not go into 900, but yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. CDS engineers, quotes for the wells. Pumps.
All right, good evening. Had several quotes, working with Gary. And so we got quotes from Peerless Midwest, who's done a lot of the work with Brandon. We're looking at Ford Street and State Road 13. So, State Road 13 quote was $31,000, and this is basically replacing the pump. These are 500-gallon mount pumps. These are the big ones, and then the Fourth Street's 250. They also have a section in here, if the well needs to be cleaned, it's an additional $12,556. So there's that. And then give you the next one, Ford Road, Ford Street, is 30, and this includes cleaning, $36,038. So Ford Street's 36,000, State Road 13's 31 plus 12. They need to clean it. He didn't think they needed to clean it, but I would bet it probably needs to be cleaned.
Well, if we're in there working on it, I think we probably need to just go ahead and clean both of them.
Yeah, I would recommend cleaning both of them.
The pumps have lost their capacity.
Both pumps have lost their capacity. I think Brandon helped me if I'm wrong here, but pump Ford Street is capacity's 250. You're getting about 150.
157, I think is our average.
57. And then State Road 13 is 500, and you're getting
Maybe 413 or 415.
Yeah. So they've definitely lost their capacity. And Brandon's right on the, if we gotta take these down, we'll take down the, Fourth Street first. And, get that one back up to 250. You'll need that.
Yeah.
And make sure the tanks are full when we take down, State Road 13.
Now, if we do this in the fall, that should help as well,
Yeah.
or in early winter.
Getting Ford Street well back online, back where it needs to be, is gonna help
That'll help a lot.
tremendously, yeah. And that's our cleanest water, but it runs the longest, but pumps the least amount of gallons per day.
Yeah.
So,
And it's closest to the plan.
yeah.
It'd be a lot better. Actually, it'd be nice if we could get that one to 500.
It would be very nice.
Is that one just not capable of 500?
We're gonna ask that question, once the hydrogeologist gets down there and starts looking at it. Because the next, proposal I'll talk about is the new well. But, if we could get Fourth Street to 500, we probably don't need to drill a new well. Cause the plant is only rated at 500 gallons a minute. That's really, you need 2 wells at 500 gallons a minute to supply the plant. And right now, you've only got 1.
Which pump was anchored?
Board, any questions?
Which pump was anchored on?
How old are the current pumps?
Or roughly?
Because I know they were serviced 5 years ago.
I've got that
See, I
information.
don't have the materials.
Hold on a second.
I know the electric motor out on Sarah 13 was replaced during the first part of the water project, but the pump itself wasn't. So that would put it maybe
2000,
2015,
2011.
2011.
The motors
No, I'm
replaced
sorry,
in
2019, Fourth Street. 13, it's cleaned in 22. Oh, it's older. It was 2013. So you got one 6 years old and one is 12 years old. One that's 6, these pumps you should really get more life out of these pumps. The water here has been well documented, has a lot of iron and manganese. And I think you're pulling in some fines as well in these well casings. And I think cleaning these wells with chemical and shooting those back through the aquifer is gonna help a lot with that.
When you say fines, like the streams on the well, it's in the ground, it's letting sand.
Sand and very small silt pieces into the water. Now the filters filter that out, so nobody's drinking raw water here. But the filters filter that out. But it's not something, it puts a strain on your filters, it makes you backwash more. It's a cascading effect when you get wells like this.
No one on the board has any more questions? The other, what is?
The other
IPW quote.
is a new well, and right now, Peerless looked at this with their hydrogeologist. The new well is $359,370, and they were planning that also includes some more water main, which is $82,000 to connect to the existing water main. And they want to put it out there, best location they think is Stairway 13, where you already have a well. And they'll stick it 300 or 400 feet away so that the cone of influence doesn't affect the existing well. But it would give you backup, it will give you 2 wells that are at least rated at 500 gallons per hour. Which is really what's required for your treatment plant.
This is the same well that is higher in iron, correct?
Stairway 13 is higher than ours.
Which well does Rockaway pull from?
The pulse from the water tower.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
guess they're pulling treated water, not raw water.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept both the State Road 13 well inspection and pump replacement. I would like to go ahead and add cleaning to that well.
Okay.
Go ahead, I'll make another motion for the other one.
I'll second that.
Brian,
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes.
I will now make a motion for the Ford Street well cleaning and pump replacement.
Second.
Brian,
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes.
I would like to wait on the new well and see what the cleaning does as far as our gallons per minute.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's see how this goes, and then we'll address that at a later time. There also may be some other investigation to do on location, and what we think we could get somewhere else instead of State Road 13.
I believe Commonwealth and part of that water project was looking at some other areas.
They were. Yeah, I talked to Gary about that.
Okay.
All right. Item 2, the quote from R&R Video for smoke testing. As you guys recall, we've talked a lot about trying to keep the plant capacity, save some of it by correcting a lot of the collection system. We have a plan to line all the sewers. We're also looking at getting some grant money for that. But this quote also is part of the investigation. We sent out 7 requests for the smoke testing, and this will smoke test every line in the collection system. R&R came in at $21,000, which is really a good price. We just finished about 2 years ago, city about the same size as Lapel, and it was closer to 50. It wasn't R&R, it was somebody else. And I've worked with R&R on several projects. They're out of Rochester, Indiana. Excellent company, and I would recommend moving forward with this smoke testing.
And essentially, the smoke testing will see if we have unauthorized hookups,
Correct.
downspouts, things like that into the sanitary.
Downspouts, yard drains, local catch basins and inlets on the street, things like that. Those will contribute a tremendous amount of water during rain events.
And then that flow testing we did, every time it rained,
Yeah.
it
was,
skyrocketed on our inflow.
It's pretty evident that you've got a lot of inflow and infiltration.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the bid for smoke testing.
I'll make the motion to approve the smoke testing.
I'll second.
Brian,
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes.
All right, number 3, the last thing I've got on my list, ordinance for the gas utility sale to citizens. We've gone through the appraisal process, we've gone through public hearings. This will be the first read only on the ordinance, and then in October, board meeting will be the second read, and then you'll take a vote. Any questions on that at all?
Anybody else on the board? 2025-3, an ordinance of the town of Lapel, Madison County, Indiana, approving the sale of the town's gas utility asset. Good?
No, that's, we have to vote on the, it's not just reading.
Oh.
It's, the first reading means to vote, so you have to vote 3 times.
I'll entertain a motion to accept pass ordinance 2025-3.
I'll make it.
Se-
Brian,
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes.
Alright. Now we're going to resolution 2025-6, a Lapel and Pendleton interlocal agreement.
Hello, I'm Hannah Roservansky, I'm the planning director for the town of Pendleton.
Ah, very good.
I believe you got our interlocal agreement and resolution, Teresa gave it to you,
Mhm.
and then Evan should have given you a packet that I brought with me.
Mhm.
I'm really here to just answer any questions you might have. Essentially, we have a developer, on 700 South on the Pendleton side. We share that road, because the Old County roads property lines go to the middle. And they need to improve the roadway from 13 to their property line, their eastern property line. They have large trucks, a lot of traffic, gonna be produced with that, so they need to improve that road drastically. So we've got our right of way on the south side, and essentially what this interlocal would do is allow us, through the developer, to purchase 50 feet of right of way from center line north. The developer will create that new roadway there, it's about 1,700 feet long, and then give you the right of way back. If you want it.
Any questions? I will make the motion to accept or to pass resolution 2025-6, Lapel and Pendleton interlocal agreement.
Second. He made my second.
Brian.
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes.
Now, you do have a resolution with you as well. You're welcome to mirror that, or, if you have your own template, because I do believe a resolution is needed as well, because it's a cross-jurisdictional. This is just ours as an example, but.
Yeah, so we have one
Oh.
drafted already that mirrors what you have.
Oh, perfect,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what they
I didn't know
passed.
that was there, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what we just passed.
All right, perfect, well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Old business, Comcast right-of-way permit.
Hey, good evening. My name is Kyle McKenzie, construction manager for Comcast. Full disclosure, we understand that this is a big table tonight. The reason I'm here is just kind of explain a little bit about our project and answer any questions you guys may have. So to start this off, we did partner with the state through their NLC program, Next Level Connections, which means underserved homes in rural communities were identified as grant homes to build out to. So we did win this bid for Lapel to build fiber optic network. And this is about a $1.6 million project looking to serve 1,021 homes in Lapel and the greater surrounding areas. It's about 6.8 miles of build. A lot of that will be underground, about 85%, and that's due to Duke. That's why we were actually awarded this program in 23. We've been trying to get on Duke poles for that long, and with the extensive make ready they require, it didn't work out like we wanted it to, unfortunately. So we did redesign this underground. You guys did see the permits, I believe. You've looked through them. I know there are some outstanding issues. I believe we have a call tomorrow to discuss further. Like I said, I'm just here to answer any construction-related questions you may have.
I don't have any questions, but I was also on phone calls quite a bit today about this. Some of the issues were pedestals, we wanted flush mount boxes in the ground. We do not have our right-of-way fee schedule yet. They are willing to do it contractually and pay us our fees that will be potentially approved later this year. Locates, things of that nature. And the biggest thing was timeline on construction, and us being able to manage, having someone overseeing the crews.
Well, it's not just overseeing the crews, but also instead of having multiple crews here and one part just handling it, right?
Yes, and that was like the timeline of the construction schedule instead of, because I believe you guys were trying to do a 2-week schedule, is the last I heard.
For approved permits, that's correct, yes. So just a little background on that, we have until March of next year to complete this bill for the state.
Okay, I guess I misunderstood. I thought you guys were trying to put 55,000 feet of cable in the ground in 2 weeks.
No, no, sir.
That was pretty,
That was what was relayed to us.
yes.
No, I think that timeline was for us receiving approved permits from the town.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense, because I didn't know how you were gonna do that.
It would have been impressive, don't get me wrong.
Very. What do you think the timeline is for installation?
Depending on how locates go, I know the town has your own gas, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a challenge. I would propose about 90 days for construction start to finish.
Brandon, does that seem a lot more manageable than
It all
2 weeks?
depends on how many crews are doing what at what time, yeah.
Yeah. How many, you have an estimate on how many crews you're gonna have try to have in town for a 90-day schedule?
Depending on the permits and how locates go, like I said, we could have up to 10 crews in town.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
Well,
Because ultimately, with you boring underground, you're gonna be either crossing water or gas almost every hour,
yeah.
right? So I've gotta have a person there to watch you cross water or gas every time you cross it.
Okay.
So it's.
We don't
that's
have
where-
10 people.
Yeah, that's where we get into trouble with manpower personnel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys, is there a possibility to outsource someone that could watch?
No, so gas, the only gas I have to do, like, the company has, like, who owns the gas has to do their own locating,
Yeah.
and I have to do my own watch and protects, right? So that's through the USIC and all that. Now, water, I've taken water into, it's just as important to me as gas, so I follow the same thing that gas does. So when somebody bores across my main or service line, I wanna be there to watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, that's
Yeah,
protecting our assets.
We'll back all that anytime we're
Yeah.
getting anywhere close to water storage.
Yeah. The biggest issue is gonna be locating the water.
Yeah.
Gas, I got no problem, I can tell you exactly where the gas is, it's all got tracer wire on it.
Okay, cool.
The
That's-
water,
that's
you
good.
stand out there with 2 sticks and stomp your foot and hope that's where it's at. It's a challenge.
That's,
It's gonna take the longest.
and I know there was talks of us getting some quotes for you guys to locate the water and sewer. I think those are gonna continue tomorrow, so there's that as well.
Yeah, right now, we're still kind of in the negotiation process, getting everything, both sides comfortable and everything put on paper, in writing. Potential special meeting to approve this or deny it, whichever way it goes. So, do I need anything, Pamela?
Yeah, I would table this, until, well, yeah, I would just table this, and then I expressed to Jeremy today that if we can work things out, the council has expressed to me that they be willing to have a special meeting within the next 2 weeks. Is that correct? Within the next 2 weeks, not saying it will be 2 weeks, but that's what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Okay. That works for us.
Okay.
Make a motion to table this.
Brian?
Yes.
Lindsay?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Chad?
Yes.
And really quick, just before I leave,
we will close the regular town council meeting and open the public hearing for the budget. I've never done a budget public hearing, so.
Just need to see if there's any public that would like to speak on the budget.
Is there anyone that would like to speak on the proposed budget? No one? Anyone from the council?
I have a question.
Okay.
Just to, like, going forward as far as like trying to educate our public, is there, cause I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm ignorant as can be when it comes to this. But I wanna learn. So for those of us that want to learn, is there any way that you could perhaps do a special meeting or a workshop to help explain what each, not necessarily every single line item, but at least clue in those of us that do want to learn and what everything looks like and why you voted a certain way and why you didn't vote a certain way?
I'll be very honest with Teresa, and someone we hired does a lot of the budget because it is very complicated.
Right, I know, and I respect that. I just, I respect it a lot.
Maybe next year I'll understand it a little bit better. I understand it a little more every year, but
I can.
Chad's probably.
I will give you the best explanation. I went to, when I first got elected, we went to a conference for newly elected officials, and we had the greatest budget teacher I'd ever seen in my life, because they dumbed it down to kindergarten level, so I was right there where I needed to be. The best way to talk about a governmental budget. Now, first of all, for everybody, I'm going to try to keep it quick here. Government finance is the most convoluted, crazy thing in the world. All right? It does not work. If you try to do government budget spending like you do your home spending, you're going to end up in jail. It just doesn't, that is not the way it works. So the best example they gave us was a cookie jar. All right? Everything gets a cookie jar. So if you have an Oreo cookie jar, in that jar you might have regular Oreos, you might have some double stuffs, you might have some mint, you might have the new peanut butter ones. But if it's an Oreo, it goes into that jar. Then you have a jar full of Nutter Butters, and maybe you have a jar full of Fudge Stripes. If you run out of Oreos, you cannot have a Fudge Stripe or a Nutter Butter. All right, so everything has to fall within that cookie jar. Now, if you run out of mint Oreos and you have some extra double stuffs left, you can typically have, because it's in the same cookie jar. So when you look at the budget, so anybody can go to the Indiana Gateway for public access, pull up the town Lapel, pull up proposed budgets. We had a special meeting a couple weeks ago. Teresa had to upload it after we were done. It hasn't been available to the public since the day or two after that, which is all statutorily required for us to get that done. So everything has to be broken down in that cookie jar as to what the item is and what the type of item is. So, and this is where Teresa can remind me, you have people, you have stuff, you have things, and then you have other. So an example is for the police department, payroll is people.
Right.
Stuff is office supplies. Things is your equipment, your cars, your guns, all of that. And then the other is going to a training or whatever their other random expense is, a software or something like that. So if you pull up the budget form 1 for the town, that is the general fund and any other fund that is supplied by taxpayer dollars. That's why if you go through this, you don't see water, gas, sewer, none of that, because that is not a taxpayer funded line. So you'll go through and you'll see just the regular general fund, and you'll see the police department, then you'll see motor vehicle highway because taxes go to the roads. You'll see park, you'll see all those things, and then within each thing you'll see a breakdown, and it'll have a 3 will say, you know, there's a line for town council payroll. There's a line for office supplies. There's a line for professional services, which is, you know, what Marcellus and Dan are for us. So, and those expenses, and we have to list it so that plain English, you can go through and see what that line item is and what the budgeted amount is. Now, if you would like to confuse yourself on how a budget works, not all entities in our county are as good at doing a budget as we are. And you'll hear things like new money requests that happen every single meeting. If you've done your budget correctly at the beginning of the process, like we're in right now, you may only hear what's an additional appropriation is the technical term for new money. You'll only hear those happen typically in November and December, where you get to an end of the year and you go, oh, we only budgeted $10,000 for gasoline for this, the police department, and gas was $1 a gallon more this year. We have to make that adjustment. So that's a really good general overview of, if you look at that form, that's what you're going to see. So when you see, you know, the police chief's salary, that is what we're budgeting. That will guide us on how, when we go to do our salary ordinance, we have to fall within that budgeted amount. In other words, we don't get to just all of a sudden, after we've approved the budget, go, you know what, huge raise. Not how it works. So, yeah.
Is there a way for you to share that link, whatever it is that you said, gateway, whatever?
We can, yeah, we can get that with other links on Facebook or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, we can manual right on that.
Just Google Gateway to pull up.
Yeah, Indiana Gateway, you can search Lapel Town.
Indiana Gateway, and if you Google it,
It comes right
that's
up.
how I did it. Go Indiana Gateway, you click on it, and then you just, it's pretty self-explanatory. You click on it, and then it'll ask you for your town, and we're Lapel Civil Town is what we're listed under.
So, and that does make a difference. So, but yeah, so once we enter in all that information, basically we have to submit to the state. This is, you know, is this a fundable budget? Does it fall within all the monies that we have coming in? And it goes out to the public, and then we have this hearing, and next month we sign off on it that it's
We vote
done.
on it and approve it.
Yep. Yeah, that's the easy Chad version of it.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was just thinking, if that could be shared out so that people could look at it that are knowledgeable in this area. That's not me,
But yeah.
Where I get confused is things like professional services, like, and that's, I think where maybe some other people would get confused, is you look at it, you say, all right, we budgeted, I don't know, $40,000 or whatever it is for professional services, but then when we see what these contract prices are for some of the engineering contracts and that are ongoing contracts for advisory work, or what we're paying hourly for planning and building inspector and so on, it almost seems like it's not enough. Do those come out of other places?
There are expenses from things like water or gas, because planning does have an impact on the gas utility or the sewer or water.
So they share the
So
expense.
there is some shared expense there.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's all calculated when they do the budget for that goes into the rate. That, yes, there are engineering fees that have to be included in the rate and things like that. Unless somebody has a question for Chad's cookie jar, I'm good.
Anyone else have any questions on the budget hearing? I will now close the public hearing and resume the town council meeting. I will make a motion.
We don't vote tonight,
Just a hearing.
just a hearing. We'll vote next month on it. And then I have 6 days to enter all of the numbers in.
Okay, that's done. Police department report.
He got away. That's not good.
Get this in order. First of all, I apologize, I didn't get the copies go over them real quick. Just a quick update, Officer Jackson is in his 3rd week at the academy. He's doing well, passing everything so far. If you don't know, we did get him a Paracat package that he totally loved. He now has to display until the rest of the package, rest of the academy's over. So it may or may not have had a pink uniform that he now has to his bunk for the rest of the academy. Officer Lee has completed field training and has been released to solo patrol. If you don't know, Officer Lee is one of our newer reserve officers. He is a product of Lapel, graduated from Lapel. We are completing the background on a new reserve hire. This gentleman comes with us with 10 plus years of law enforcement experience, some of that reserve, and also some of that full-time. So as long as the background goes well and the training goes well, he'll be a great addition for the reserves.
Has he been to the academy already?
Has he been to the academy? Yes. He, at this time though, is looking for reserve. So, yeah. Yeah, we won't go into that, but that's we don't pay money. The F-150 that had the transmission is back. It is operational for now. Seems to be working quite well. The Tahoe parts have started coming in. They estimate a month. As long as they open it up and there's nothing else there. The 20 Explorer will need to go in for transmission. We have until October 28th. We're hoping to try to get the Tahoe fast before we have to send that in. See, for the month, we responded to 389 calls of service. So as far as total calls, it was a lower month. However, we filed 29 criminal charges for the month. Drunk driving is still the majority of those calls, charges. However, we did have a large uptick in battery related, whether those be domestic battery, non-domestic or battery. We had more than unusual amounts this month for those. I also wanted to get it out. I know we will have another council meeting prior to that date, but Halloween this year will fall on Friday, obviously the 31st. I want to put out to the council that that's the day that we do trick-or-treating and that we do the normal 5 to 8. Maybe we can get that information out now. I know last year, it kind of got out a little late, so I was trying to see if we can get that out. Maybe get that published. I don't know if we have another newsletter going out, but go ahead and start getting that out, let the people know. There's a little map flying around, sorry. We have, like I said, the OWIs, out those charges, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of our charges were drunk driving related. 2, 3, so 5 of our charges were battery related. And then we have quite a few resisting law enforcement charges as well, criminal recklessness. Honestly, I'm not sure where we're at total calls for the year. I did not print that off. 3,700 for the year. With that said, I normally don't do this. I normally don't make comments on statements that are made during council meetings. However, there are some things that I feel I must be addressed on behalf of my officers. I want to provide some information to those of you in attendance or listening at home. The Lapel Police Department is responsible for providing services and patrolling an area that is approximately 10.5 square miles. To put that in perspective, you could place the city of Elwood, the city of Alexandria, and the town of Ingalls inside the town limits of Lapel and still have 0.5 square miles left over. This area is covered by 1 and sometimes 2 officers, depending on the time of day, We have overlaps on day shift and we have some overlaps on evening shifts. The town of Lapel is the third largest by area, not population, incorporated municipality within Madison County, with only the city of Anderson and town of Pendleton being larger incorporated areas. It may have been implied that there have been areas of downtown that an officer has not been seen for an extended period of time. I want to emphasize that the taxpayers who live in the newer annexed areas of Lapel rate the same protections, patrols, and services as those that live in the more condensed downtown area. With the size of the patrol area we are responsible for, there are going to be times that we may not go down a specific road or be seen in a specific location for multiple hours. That doesn't mean we are not actively patrolling and protecting our residents. It just means we are patrolling and protecting all of our residents, and maybe there is a certain part of town that needs our immediate attention more than others, or we could be on a call. If we are on a call and we make an arrest, just to let you know, from the time we get that call till the time we complete our paperwork can be 4 hours or more. Time we get them to the jail, we get them booked in. We now have to go get a medical release because the jail won't take them. We've got to come back. Now an officer has to do 3 hours worth of paperwork. We don't have detectives. We don't have secretaries that help us. Our officers, as we always like to say, if they catch the fish, they clean it. They have to go from start to finish. We do our best to patrol every area of the town that we can. I am a huge proponent of community policing. I highly encourage, and I will continue to encourage, my officers to stop and talk with residents, whether that be at one of our parks, at one of our outstanding schools, at one of our wonderful businesses, or anywhere the opportunity presents itself. Socially interacting with the residents is a way of showing them who we are as individuals and letting them get to know us outside of a traffic stop or a call for service. And it's a way of letting us know who they are. Talking with our residents is not an officer wasting time. It is an investment in our town and our community. I want to make sure that people understand that if there's issues with my officers or with me, to come talk to me. I'm open at any time. You can come see me. I can make myself available. We said it earlier before. This is not necessarily representative of anything that was said, but social media, I'm not on social media. I don't follow social media, and there's a reason for that. While there is some good being done on social media, there is also people who have agendas. I don't get wrapped up in that because I'm here for everybody. I don't take sides on anybody's case. I'm here for everybody. If you don't like me, I don't care. I will still talk to you. That's not what I'm here for. If you're mad, you're not normally mad at me anyway. It's probably because you don't know who I am. I ask if you have issues to please contact me and not post things on social media. But that's your call. You do, you do. With that said, I also wanted to just make sure there was another mention of some of my officers being at certain places. Well, I will admit that there was an officer that had occasionally sat at a location for extended periods of time. We have taken care of that. We've moved forward. That is in the works to be dealt with. For this month, we wrote 44 written citations, some of those being tickets, some of those being warnings. I don't have to distinguish between what was what. 7 of those were either on Main Street, 4th Street, or John Street. 20 were on state roads 32, 13, and 38, with the majority of them being on State Road 32, where we patrolled during school hours. 9 of them were on the annexed county roads. 4 of them were on Pendleton Avenue, and 4 of the last remaining 4 were on other quote-unquote county roads that are outside of the town-down area. Kind of shows that we do a little bit of patrolling everywhere. If you have a problem with an area that's being patrolled, contact me, and we will have officers enforce it in that area.
Planning, that's me. We had no new business, no old business. It's all about the planning. Utilities. Break the bank here.
Alright. First thing, last month I brought the quote on the skid steer. Chad did the legwork on that, getting the bond bank, getting quotes on it. Since the last quote I have, Reynolds has given me a trade-in price on our current skid steer that we have. Reynolds is offering us $12,000 on trade-in for it, which is
Amazing.
I mean, yeah, I was not expecting that at all. So that leaves for the skid steer and the two pieces of equipment, the total cost of $82,900, which we've broken up into however many years you guys decide to do it through the bond bank.
And this, you're wanting a brush cutter and a power rake.
Yep. Yeah, the brush cutter so we can start managing some of our side ditches in the annex areas and just outside of town that we need to start doing. And then the power rake helps with when we do have to tear up properties and other things like that because of water leaks or gas installs or stuff like that, which is, it's a good piece of equipment to have.
Anyone have any questions on that? Looks like we have three options on financing. Well, this is a lease to purchase.
Yeah, at the end of the lease term, we own the equipment.
We have a 3-year. I'm assuming this is a yearly payment, just over $29,000. 4-year at 28, just over $22,000. And the third option is a 5-year at just over $18,000.
Brian, may I speak?
You sure may.
Just to let you know, we did pay off the big dump truck, August the 1st. And that payment was twice a year at $18,000, just so it kind of gives you a reference to go by for whatever you decide to do.
We could do it 3 years. Difference of interest rate, I don't know.
No. I do have a question, Brandon. Is there, that would go into this, what maybe we would choose as far as years? What else does the utility department need? I know you've got a long list. What immediate?
What next?
would you need?
The next immediate thing would probably be another truck or two. Our trucks are older.
Pickups.
Yeah, the pickup trucks. Yeah, just the utility trucks. With having the big dump truck, the new little dump truck, the backhoe's I think 7 years old or 8 years old, so it's getting there. We spent a little bit of money on it this year with maintenance and things that have happened because it is older, but I think we can get a little bit more time out of it. Right now, the biggest thing I would think would be pickup trucks. I mean, we've started about the idea of getting like a side-by-side would be nice to be able to like plow and salt like sidewalks or just go out and do meters and stuff, but a pickup truck is really where we're spending the most money on repairs.
And you use those for plowing as well?
Yeah.
Okay, that's just a little food for thought.
Like I say, yeah, you have one truck that is way past its prime. The lawnmower truck.
Yeah, the mower truck, yeah, that. And then Mike's, the next newest truck after that is Mike's, which is a 2012. The other two are 2015s. So.
They're coming.
Yeah.
I will make the motion to purchase the new track skid steer at the 5-year term at $18,181.59 a year.
Second.
Brian?
Yes.
Lindsay?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Chad?
Yes.
Alright, next thing, as you know, Brockway is a big contributor on how our water capacity and usage is. I'm trying to figure out, they use so much water that it's hard for me to tell if we have a water leak or if Brockway's using water. You know what I mean? So I talked to Utility Supply, about getting a new meter for Brockway. Basically it's a Neptune meter, which is what we're switching all the new ones to. It records records every 6 hours, so from 6 PM to midnight it records, and then I can go in and look at that and break it down to every 15 minutes of how many gallons they used. So live data is kind of an expensive thing now to like get on there and actually like look at it live, but to be able to break it down in that much, I think that would help us figure out at what times are they using it, you know, because like on the weekends, our water usage drops a lot, and it seems like Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday, it skyrockets and then it drops again. So we need to be able to tell if there's a way, if it is Brockway that's using that much water. So yeah, this meter, basically it runs off a cell signal. So like when we go to read meters, nobody even has to read it. Teresa can just click on her computer and it shows the reading and it's there. But for the meter and then the cellular point of it is $4,926.54. And that's with the town utility installing it.
And this is the meter and the cellular.
Yeah, it's a big 4-inch meter. They have a pretty good sized meter out there. But I mean, with Brockway's latest bill, we could buy, what,
buy a whole bunch of them.
1,000 of these?
I think that they've used so much water in the last 2 months. I'm waiting to download the meters from this week to see. I did go talk to them today, and they were like, yeah, we've been using a lot of water, and I'm like, yeah, I need you to pay for it. So needless to say, I'll have a deposit into the checking account either tomorrow or Monday. They've already sent me.
That's enough to pay the skids here, huh?
Yeah, I mean, their total for 2 months was almost $250,000.
Well, let's
Yeah.
get one and then a backup. Just so it doesn't, if it goes out, it doesn't stay.
I will make the motion for the 4-inch water meter for Brockway.
Second. Good, right?
Who wants that?
I'll second.
Brian?
Yes.
Lindsay?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Chad?
Yes.
All right, now on the sewer. I think I'm hitting every department tonight. So the lift station at Main Street and the lift station at 300 use the same size pumps. Usually we have a backup pump. One of those went down at Main Street lift station. We sent it in. It was a while back. It took them a while to get it torn apart and see what it needs. I got a price on what it would cost to rebuild that pump. And then I got a couple prices on what it would be to just replace it with a new pump. And you're only $400 off of what it would be to buy a new one. And it's a lot better pump.
I was gonna ask, is it a better pump or?
It is,
exact
yeah.
same?
Yeah, the older pumps run at about 15 to 1600 RPM. This one's running at almost 1800. It's just, they got carbide steel blades in them. It's the cutter pumps, just like what we use. But for the new one of those was $4,950. And they have that in stock. There's no lead time on any of that, so.
Is that something they keep in stock all the time?
I don't know, because the one pump is what we usually use, and it's like a 3-week turnaround right now. So I don't know if it's one of those things, just depends on what they have at the time. But we like to have the spare pump just in case, because the lift stations are kind of like the water. If you get a lot of rain, they don't run off one. It's going to take both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we like to have a spare that's around.
Do we have a spare now, or is this?
No, this was the spare. We put the spare in down at Main Street, and now we sent this one in to get repaired, and he gave us that. So.
I'll make the motion to use, I don't know, the bottom one, the 4950. That pump.
Yeah, Barbara Lisa. If that's how you pronounce it.
No, I'm not saying it.
Barlisa.
I make the motion to approve the purchase of the
what?
Paramisa pump.
There we go.
Second.
I think you have to do one of these.
Brian?
Yes.
Lindsay?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Chad?
Yes.
Okay, and then Teresa added the pictures that I took of West 650 South. We've had complaints out there of the road conditions, and when I went out there to patch the potholes, there's no road left to patch. And that's a newer road that was paved, but not that long ago.
Yeah.
Is
This
the road Shelby's on?
This is the road that Shelby's on, and all this happened when 13 was shut down.
This is going to the west, correct?
Yes,
From Shelby?
from Shelby, yeah.
Um,
It was not like this before they shut down 13.
No, this was,
a lot of this should be on the state.
Yeah.
Well, actually, every bit of that should be on the state.
yeah, the unofficial detour.
Yes.
Yeah, this was more of me just wanting to bring it to your guys' attention,
Okay.
not wanting a resolution tonight on it, but it's pretty bad. They called, so we went and got asphalt, filled the hot box up, and got out there, and there's nothing to fill, there's nothing left, so,
Yeah, it looks like it's alligator pretty good.
yeah. You can tell, it's just from the weight of those trucks. I mean, it's,
Now, typically, they don't go out that way, or they're not supposed to go out that way.
you know, we technically have an ordinance of a 5-ton weight limit on that road,
Yeah.
so.
13 being closed, it's, they have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, they have no. Okay, and then, one final thing on the whole water side of it, I've been working with, UMAC, I've gotten hold of Clint with idea, we're gonna try to schedule some sort of town hall meeting where people can come and voice their concerns with, myself will be there, and UMAC, who's our licensed operator for the plant, trying to get idea and see if they wanna get involved. It's just taking a lot to get it coordinated, to get everybody in the same room at the same time. So once I get that started, I'll let you guys know, we can get something scheduled. So.
Thank you.
Yep, that's all I got, unless you got anything for me.
I don't have anything, anyone else?
Thank you, sir.
All right, cool, thank you.
Parks?
I don't have an update.
Perfect. RDC?
We met in our regularly scheduled meeting tonight. We completed, paying for monthly required, reporting. So, very simple meeting. We, go ahead.
Next month you will, is the reporting requirement, so we'll need to be sure everybody can be there next month for that meeting.
Yep.
I have a quick question on that. Did you ever figure out if that open position is appointed or?
And Alicia's bringing up the next thing I was gonna ask.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
We did discuss that, we still have the opening. We do not currently know, what political appointee, or appointer is for the position that we have open. It's my belief that it is a council appointment. So, we just have to go back and double check that with legal.
I should be able to look in the minutes to see.
Find when that was, yeah.
Yep.
So once we confirm that,
Just send
I
me a
know
text
we
with
have.
all the other stuff you want me to do tomorrow and I'll.
Oh, you were writing this down?
Alicia, are you interested in?
Possibly.
Okay.
We'll see. I need to think about it.
It's-
But while
It's a
you're.
rough and tumble position, I tell you.
Well, I just got some things going on. I need to see how it goes, but just keep me posted.
Okay.
What's the position?
It's on the redevelopment commission.
Open board spot,
It's been open for,
a couple months. Every month.
put it out there a few times, so anyone watching, they have an open RDC position.
What does RDC stand for?
Redevelopment Commission.
Okay.
All together.
Some of the abbreviations are really easy.
Administration.
She's not here tonight and she didn't send me with anything.
I do have one item, at her behest. This would be the second round of emails, on the Microsoft account with the new, .gov. We need 20 additional licenses to finish out all town employees. This is 5 full licenses and 15 of the web only. It is a one-time cost for 1 year of $2,081.60. And that will give us the ability to transition all remaining town employees to the new .gov emails.
That's all of them.
That's all town employees. The only thing that does not include would be Parks Board, RDC, planning, any of those folks. So that would be the final round if we move that way.
Okay. Then you make a motion, go ahead and
to approve the purchase of the 5 full licenses and 15 web licenses for Microsoft for $2,081.60.
Second.
Brian,
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes.
Are we ever gonna meet her?
She was at the last meeting.
Clerk treasurer report.
I have a couple things, I'll make it quick. We got our letter for, South Madison Community Foundation. Our yearly donation to somebody at one of the schools or whatever, so you guys be thinking maybe next month. I'll put it back on the agenda, and then that way, if somebody comes up, I forget who we done it for last year, somebody at the STEM program, I think that's who we've done it the last 2 years. That's what you guys wanna do, that's fine, just let me know. I think they even at the school set up an account specifically for them, so when we donated the money, it was sure to go straight to them. So, you can either vote now, or you can wait till next month, if you wanna think about it.
Everybody think, gonna wait till next month, do it now?
I like the idea of giving it to STEM. It's a great program. It does a lot of good.
I'll make the motion that we donate to STEM.
Second.
Brian.
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes.
Okay.
Approval of claims.
I'm not done
Your
yet.
department. All right.
Done
One
yet.
thing over there.
Okay, I just wanted to, and I don't know whether you guys need to vote on this or not. I am working with Casey from State Bank. We've been working probably about a month and a half, trying to figure out the best way to set up our accounts. We're trying to get some interest-bearing accounts that will make more interest than what our accounts are now. We're gonna start the process of switching over. I will have to leave our old accounts open. They'll have to stay open for 2 years once we're totally switched over, just to make sure everything goes through. I don't know if I need you guys to vote to allow me to start opening those accounts, because I had to when I opened the GO bond account at First Merchants. It has to basically be on record that you know that I'm opening up accounts.
I would make a motion that we approve our clerk treasurer to begin the new account process at State Bank.
We are required to deposit in local, there is a local bank, we are required to deposit into that bank.
Brian.
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes.
All right, my next thing is, with Cascaden's account, we're only getting 50,000 a year from Cascaden's, and we're using that for all but 10,000 we use towards the parks every year. I was hoping Gary would be here so I could ask him why. In October of 2018, the council created a non-reverting account for donations received from the Earl Selkirk and Olivia Cascaden Fund. Talking with Casey, she believes that this non-reverting account is actually not the checking account part of it, but is the separate fund part of it. I don't know if you know. Here's what I'm wanting to do. The Cascaden money is in a separate checking account now. I want to convert it into our main checking account, so I don't have 5 checking accounts. I don't know if I need to do an ordinance to do it.
You might want to keep that just in regards to the conversations with the foundation and the conversion of that and the endowment that the council is considering. Does that make sense? Because
So
you
we
still have
keep
to-
a separate checking account?
I don't know. I'm just
Okay.
saying from what you told me. So the point is, there will still need
can wait, I'll just have her hold off on that account. Okay. Alright, that's all I had.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Approval of claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims as presented.
I'll second.
Brian,
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes.
Approval of allowance dockets for August. This is the crazy thing where we have to redo the same thing again. Yeah, this is broken down. I will make a motion to approve the allowance docket for August.
I'll second.
Brian.
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes.
I'll be saying that in my sleep.
Council member comments and concerns.
I have one item that was not within any of the other areas. The police department did have a pursuit with an accident. We were notified today that the truck will be totaled as a result of the accident. In the budget that will be presented for approval at next month's meeting, it does include, we put a vehicle purchase on hold until we were able to get to the budget. With being down a vehicle and having the ability to have one in our next cycle of purchasing, I would ask for permission to reach out for financing rates for either the replacement of the wrecked vehicle and the purchase of the next vehicle in the rotation.
I will make a motion to allow Chad to seek financing and purchasing options
Second.
for the police vehicle.
Brian.
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Ryan, I'm sorry, can I add one thing?
You sure may.
There's something, I forgot to add to my agenda.
Last regular meeting, I brought up the fact that we were, the vest, I had 5 vests that needed to be ordered. I brought up that they had not opened up the grant for that. It does not appear that that grant's going to be open. Just information for the council. I'm working with my council liaison. We've got sizing, we've got quotes. We are gonna have to go ahead and purchase those. We don't have a requirement. A, it's state law, and B, it's in our policy that we do it. They've reached their 5-year cycle. They're not expired, they'll just be going out of warranty, and our policy states that. I don't have the quote. I was hoping to have the quote here tonight. However, we don't really have an option. We're gonna try to absorb it the best we can within our current budget. If we don't, I believe we're going to be able to, as Chad mentioned earlier, in November, request additional appropriation out of one of my other budgets. Just give you a follow-up on that. We did have to purchase them,
1,200, 1,300.
I think it's 1,200, 1,300 apiece, and they are actually a little bit better best than what we have. I won't mention anything on here for public, but the vendor that we're using, knowing that we are a small town, that we didn't get the grant, they are giving 10% discount off. The price that he quoted us could possibly come another 10% off, because he is working with the manufacturer and trying to push really hard, hey, this town really needs it. So we could get a little bit better vest and actually in the long run be cheaper than the vest that we just purchased. So just following up that we've got it, we're getting the measurements. When it comes, we'll go ahead and make the order. We're under $7,000, so we'll just figure out where it's at. I was just updating you since the last meeting when I talked about it. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yep.
Thank you. Since they've been hit as hard as they have with vehicle issues, do you think there's any way that we as a town could come together to possibly raise the $6,500 for these guys? That a way they can do a vest, and we don't have to take that on as a budget. Maybe do a chili cook-off or something to where.
There is an existing police donation
Right,
fund
I
that you can
realize
donate to
that,
anytime, so.
but I'm
No,
just.
you have food in the bin.
Yeah.
You want money?
Right, people love to eat, so why not, why not?
Are you offering to head that up?
No.
Be a great opportunity
It's not
for
like you
engagement,
were.
community
You guys
engagement.
can organize
Huh?
anything you want and then make the donation to the police department.
Yes, that would be a great opportunity for
Yeah,
community.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
The attorney
go
would
ahead.
have to answer, but we have to be very careful about what we set up and how we get funds. If it's something there and you want to invite any member of the town to come be a courtesy judge or something of that nature, I'm all for it. But I know we have to be careful about setting up our own fundraising because
Right.
we are obviously a general
Different
fund
rules
tax
of the
rate.
fire department.
If anybody wants to set up a fundraiser, you can. Then you take the money and all you have to do is bring it to the town hall and say, we've had a fundraiser, we wanna donate this to the police department. It goes right into their donation fund. And we have the exact same thing set up for the parks department too.
Steph, you wanna do it at the lodge?
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to give her a signal, yeah, we can,
So if we somehow arrange this, could we have every officer, even if they're not on duty, come and engage with our community and like to help raise money for this?
So again, like I say, we could come and we could be a part of
Right,
it. Maybe,
right, just be there.
attend.
Where we run into issues, I want to make sure the expectations are there. Again, with 6 paid officers, I've got a guy who's got to work midnight, so he's sleeping. We got guys on. So when you say everybody, understanding that could only be
Within
4 officers.
reason. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
I mean, it would just be an opportunity for you guys to engage with the community. The community could help support you because let's admit it. I mean, in the last month, y'all have had a issue with the vehicles. So if we can help support the community and lessen the amount of money that goes towards your budget and still provide you what you need to be safe and provide us when we need you for services, then, I mean, if this is something we can do to better the community, why not?
Yeah, we'd be
It's
eternally
almost
grateful
chilly
for anything.
season.
Whether it's, yeah, and kind of side note, the coffee with a coffee, in case you don't know,
Right.
they're going to be putting that on October 1st. We'll go as many officers as I can get. And the same thing, if I'm aware of it and we have enough warning, I would love to be a part of it.
Okay.
And I guarantee I'll have at least probably 3 other officers that would love to be a part of it. Obviously, the reserves, they've got full-time jobs, so it's
Right.
kind of, but we'll have as many people as we can there. If you invite us, we'd love to come. I wasn't just talking when I said I want to be community and engage with the public. Yeah, I would love to.
All right, let's see what I can do.
Any other council members, comments, concerns?
Do we need a permit for that?
I would love for you to have a big enough cook-off that it needed a permit. Chad, he ate 900 bowls of
Like,
chili.
whoever gets, we can do the whole pie and face thing, but don't ask the cops to taste so much.
Oh, man.
No, come on. Chad's up.
Do they have tasers?
$5.
Okay, our next regular scheduled meeting is Thursday, October 16th, 2025, 7 p.m.